Working Class Beer Reviews is looking at Bud Ice. Roll that around so you can see the label. Bud Ice, this is a 16-ounce can. Bought this a 6-pack of this for about $5.50, about somewhere in that range. It is a lager. It's 5.5% alcohol. They also come in, I think you can get them in 40 ounces, 25-ounce cans, 12-ounce cans, 12-ounce clear bottles. Let's do a little looking at the schematics of this beer. Here I got my trusty tablet. On Tap Into Your Beer, which is the Anheuser-Busch official website for all the information of their beers. It says Bud Ice uses Anheuser-Busch's exclusive ice brewing process that takes the beer to a temperature below freezing, which leads to the formation of ice crystals in the finishing process that gives Bud Ice its rich, smooth taste. Bud Ice is America's first draft beer to be ice brewed. Draft beer meaning it's not pasteurized, so the cold filtering in a sense replaces the pasteurization. But also that's probably why you'll see it in clear bottles. Typically things that are in clear bottles are draft, not all things, so you can't apply that as a blanket statement. Like I said, 5.5% alcohol, 121 carbohydrates. I'm sorry, calories. 121 calories, 4 carbohydrates, 0 fat. Compare that to Budweiser, the flagship beer. Budweiser's 5% alcohol, 145 calories, and 10.5 carbs. So quite a bit more carbs. It's only 4 carbs for a 12-ounce serving of this, and 121 calories compared to 145 of Budweiser, and this has got 5.5% instead of 5. So I'm going to use this tall Pilsner glass here. Let's give it a crack. Sounds pretty good. A little bit of vapor coming out of there. Church key, like I tend to do with cans. And let's give this nice aggressive pour. Beers like this typically aren't poured into a glass. You'll drink it straight from the bottle or the can. You're not going to see it on draft that I know of. But so you got quite a bit of head here. It's a pretty narrow glass though, so it's going to help with your head retention. So we're going to let that settle for a little bit. I got to sit outside today. Not real noisy. You might hear my dogs rustling around here in my backyard. It is late fall, almost winter here in Missouri, and it's actually about a 50-some degree day. Pretty not typical for this time of year. But I wanted to be outside because there's a lot of light inside. My videos tend to be dim, so I'm trying to take advantage of this. But when I started doing videos in the late summer, early fall, there's still a lot of cicadas and a lot of just ambient noise around here, so it's hard to get a good sound quality because of all that. But got a lot of bubbles streaming up to the top of the head. It's kind of a lot of big bubbles, very spongy looking. So not the prettiest head I've seen in the world, but the bottom's releasing a lot of bubbles up to the top. So that's got some good carbonation to it. And also, let's give it a smell. Oh, it's kind of a mid, not light golden, but not dark golden. So just a regular golden appearance, very clear, obviously very filtered. So let's give it a smell. Very grainy. It's not going to be it's not going to be hoppy. I mean, it's just going to have the same amount of hops as anything else. Let me go back to the Tap Into Your Beer. Wanted to look to see. It'll tell you also the ingredients of all their beers, or at least what they're mainly. So water, corn syrup, barley malt, rice, hops, hop extract, and malt extract. So it's like a hodgepodge of everything. Mainly corn. It's more corn than it is barley. It even tells you that because it'll list the ingredients and how much they use. So water obviously is going to be first in any of them. So it's mainly a corn-driven beer. They just lay it out for you to tell you. So it does smell a bit sweet. It's very grainy smelling, but that's going to be your corn, your malt, and all. So let's give it a taste. Yeah, it's clean. It's not, when they say rich, that just means strong. It's got a stronger flavor than your light beers. But it just tastes very similar to a lot of the other ice beers you're going to find. Natural Ice, Keystone Ice, Milwaukee's Best Ice. You know, then you got Ice House, Molson Ice, Genesee Ice, which I've done a video on that. So a lot of your main beers, are your main companies are going to make an ice beer of some sort. That was a fad that started in the early to mid 90s. This was one of the first ones. I want to say Molson Ice maybe was one of the first ones, but this started in like 94, I think. A lot of the other ones followed suit in 95 when the fad kind of took off. Someone made a, I think it was Friar Tuck, did a comment in my Genesee Ice talking about how the dry beers came out close to the same time as the ice beers, and dry beers kind of fade off into obscurity, but ice beers are stuck around. I kind of wish it was the other way around. I prefer the dry beer over the ice beers, but the thing is, ice beers are like priced very appropriately. This one's actually cheaper than regular Budweiser. It's probably about on par with what natural ice prices are. You may not see it. Some people have it all over the place. I'm starting to see it more and more, especially in this configuration, which you'll hear me say all the time. I love this configuration. This is perfect serving for me. You know, sometimes when you have a 12-ounce beer, that isn't quite enough, but maybe 2 is too much. You know, so this is kind of right in between for a good serving. It is very refreshing. Not bitter. Fill it up some more. I hope I'm getting this in the shot here. It cascades really nicely. I will say that. But that could be the style glass. Maybe this is the best style glass for this beer. You know, Pilsners and lagers usually are with a nice skinny fluted glass is really good. Honestly, for, you know, observation purposes, if you're wanting to review a beer, especially a lager, a champagne glass would work great because it's nice and skinny and it's got that small opening, so it'll help that the bouquet, the smell and everything. Like I said, when you pour it aggressively, it helps to release those aromas and the flavors. But, you know, this is probably more than the standard treatment that you'd get for an ice beer. They're not normally going to be doing this. I'm just doing this for the reviewing purposes. Most people will drink it straight out of the can or bottle in this case. But it'll go good with any sort of standard lager beer, food, burgers, fries, pizza, tacos, soup, chili, you know, anything, honestly. It's made to pair well. It's made to refresh, made to kind of clean your palate off a little bit. It's a watery, so light mouthfeel. It's not going to coat your tongue or anything like that. So, yeah, very working class. Very priced very appropriately. A lot of people like ice beers because they're got a little more strength to them, a little more bang for your buck, I guess you'd say. And all. So yeah, if you've had it, which most people have at some point in time, let me know what you think about it in the comments. And thanks for watching my video, and I will see you guys later.